You want to talk about it? I'd rather laugh about it. Let's get a little dark about it on the Traumedy Show.
Welcome to the Traumedy Show. I'm your co-host, Rachel Wilford.
And I'm your other co-host, Megan Wilford.
And today we have a really awesome guest. Her name is Melina KB. She is a musical theater pop artist with an impressive background, including viral one-woman show tunes, powerful feminist anthems, and a short film called Gotcha, which is actually how we came to find her. Welcome, Melina.
Yay! Hi! Thank you so much for having me. Seriously, it's an honor. I love what y'all do, and I'm excited to chat today.
Yay. We're so excited too. Your promo videos for Gotcha came up on our feed and we were like, we have to talk to her.
Thank you.
What? We'll have to play.
Oh God, he's cheating. Yeah, we want to overlay some of the song because when I first heard it and I reached out, it was stuck in our head for so long.
Yeah.
And we kept singing it over and over, and maybe we will play a little clip of it right now.
What? Oh my God, he's cheating. Stacy's buying drugs. Who on earth is Mimi? God, I really hope that she sells drugs. Does he have a secret life? Does he have a secret wife? Do I come out and ask him or follow him tonight? Why would I even ask him or follow him tonight? 6 o'clock on the dot, and when he's cruising right. I'm not sharp like Sherlock, but on Tuesdays I was a tad askew. Came in late 3 minutes, but he had one extra D to do. Was my bagel just a ruse to distract me from the truth? But the baker is next to some intern that he's truth. When I get a piece of him, he'll be the one that's screwed. 6 o'clock on the dot, that's when I get the proof.
Love it. No, I made myself dizzy running around my apartment, shooting content for it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep, that's the independent artist lifestyle. I'm just going to keep posting it. We got to do it. So I'm glad I reached you guys.
Yes.
So
do you want
good.
to plug your social right now so that someone could
sure.
Look it up as they're listening to this?
100%. So if you're looking for the short film, that'll be on YouTube. That's Melina space KB. And it's the Gotcha short film. And then on Instagram at melina.kb. Same on TikTok and anywhere else. Snapchat. I'm on Snapchat now.
Nice.
KB24. But
you are so good at, everything you do, but also content, really. Rachel and I were very impressed by all of your videos and reels are so engaging and fun to watch. And it seems like you are good at building an audience.
Your video was I caught my boyfriend cheating, so I wrote a musical about it or something. And we were I'm sad. We had to. And then we did a deep dive on you. We're we got to get her on. This is so good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I also love, I am a theater nerd myself, hardcore, but my whole life I've been in so many musicals I can't even count, did in college and everything. So I love the influence that it has on your music as well. And some of your reels talking about the influence from other musicals and Sondheim and how it influences it. So I love a fellow theater nerd. So I was we have to get her on.
Well, I'm happy to be talking to a fellow theater kid. I'm lots to talk about, lots to dissect, lots of tunes to sing.
Just to start off, do you have what are your top 3 favorite musicals on the spot?
Okay, so number 1 is Mamma Mia. I'm truly I'm grateful that I've seen a lot of musicals and plays. But no matter what, Mamma Mia was one of the first ones I ever saw. And it's just such a classic. I grew up listening to ABBA. My grandma would put it on. I had the little greatest hits CD. We would put on the CD player. I was just absolutely obsessed with the music. And then when I saw the musical and the movie, I was just this is everything to me. I'm half Greek. So also it's kind of okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of very familiar to me and homey feeling. So definitely Mamma Mia. I'm a huge fan of Rent. I love that musical.
Nice.
I feel the melodies and and that honestly brings me to Into the Woods. Maybe my answer in the next 2 can kind of shift a little bit depending on where I'm at. Oh, Waitress too. Sorry. I gave more.
Needs me. I love Waitress.
I love Waitress.
I was in Into the Woods when I was in high school.
Iconic.
I was one of the stepsisters. That's also love all of the Sondheim musicals too.
Great role. I'm bringing all the sass, the intensity. I'm that's probably a hard role to play. So all credit to you.
Oh my God, thank you. But I love all your answers. Rachel and I loved Mamma Mia too. We went to that movie in theaters. We were young at the time.
And the second one.
Yeah.
The second one is so good. It's so, people don't talk about it enough. They don't talk about it enough. It's so good.
Underrated. Mamma Mia is core memories for us too.
Okay, I'm loving that we're all here in agreement.
Love it. Okay, amazing. So I know there's a lot of different stories that seem to inspire a lot of your different songs, and that maybe there's been some heartbreaks or some other things that you've gone through. So we're curious, what is there a specific like story or something that you'd like to share with our listeners that has shaped some of your songwriting?
So I'm originally from Lexington, Massachusetts. I have the best, most supportive family in the world, and I'm very grateful to have grown up with that living situation and just parenting and siblings, and I'm very grateful for the situation that I'm coming from. Yes, I know it's like rare these days, so I'm like, I'm very grateful for it. I definitely don't take it for granted. But yes, I grew up in Massachusetts, and I was a professional ballerina really young. So I was performing for like thousands of people in the Nutcracker, La Bayadere, like doing these big like Boston Opera House, Boston Ballet productions.
Okay, icon. Let's
It was
go.
awesome.
Yeah.
It was so
Oh my
cool.
God.
I mean, I wouldn't have done it without the guidance of like my grandparents and all of that. So it definitely like put me in a really unique position really young, but like it didn't necessarily like give me industry connections. You know what I'm saying? Like it was kind of like being like a professional gymnast or like a professional soccer player, like just in a different like in an adjacent field, because like obviously being a musician has lots of like dancing and physical elements and other things. And a lot of like willpower and determination, but it was just like a different or like a subsection of what I do now. It taught me like everything about discipline and creativity and listening to so much classical music from such a young age. Like oftentimes I reflect on that time and I'm like, I wonder how much of that like seeped into my brain. It was like, let's like do flutes and violin in the music now. But that kind of like gave me a taste of the spotlight really young. And then I saw Wicked. I saw Wicked in theater at the Boston Opera House, and I saw Alphaba Flying, and I said, put me up there. I need
That'll
to be
do it.
heard. That'll do it.
Paint me.
Hey,
I remember like
put me up
listening
there.
to Wicked for the first time and just being like, what is this? What is this?
What is this
And-
feeling? So sudden.
What is this feeling?
See, I can hang with
Yeah.
the theater
All three of
nerds
us
too.
also there. Yes.
We made Rachel perform as our backup when I sang Wicked with my sister at like a family reunion, and Rachel was like the backup students of Shiz for us. So
That's incredible. I love this
I'm
lore.
sure you still got
I'm like,
it.
give
Yeah.
us the lore.
Foundational.
No, yeah.
Dear Galinda,
Foundational.
you are just too good. That part.
Yes. I'm
a
like
terror. She's a
literally. Yeah. All three of us like sitting there like something has changed within me. Like
Something is not the same.
that was me. Like that was me. I was sitting in the audience and I was like at age maybe like 9 or 10 or 11, and I was like, something has changed within me. Please send me to theater camp. I got to theater camp. Yeah. I was writing this like small musical part that kind of got me into songwriting in the first place. And then I went through like my first breakup, quote unquote. It was like my little heartbreak, like my first kiss, like, oh, like we're leaving a different camp. Like he lived in Italy, like Milan. And I was like, I'm going back to Massachusetts. We will never see each other again. So I was like heartbroken, devastated at maybe
Foreign
like,
summer fling.
I know. Like that's a whole separate story. We can dive into later. But no, so romantic. Like looking out at the trees, like the Catskills of New York. There was like a giant willow tree and like a volleyball court and like a little like pond with like a bridge over. It was everything that like
Oh my
young,
God.
like
You're like,
hopeless
my
romantic me
life
could have wanted.
is the musical.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, because
To
like,
find
I
a
was,
hunky, straight Italian man
Yeah.
at theater camp.
No, I literally was like trying to learn Italian for him. I was like, oh, please. Like, how do I communicate with him? Yeah, that was like that first like heartbreak. Like, oh, we have to be apart. We don't want to be. I started writing more music and then more music and more music. I had a big friendship breakup, more music. And I ended up, and getting into your question, while I was in high school, I was in a few different relationships, but there was one in particular that was really also was a theater man. He was a theater man. And as I feel like maybe some of the listeners may know, there are some wonderful straight theater men. But there are also some quite toxic ones, particularly because in my program, we didn't have very many. So the few that were a part of it had like all eyes on them. You know what I'm
All
saying?
the
Like
options.
all the options. If you auditioned, you probably got a lead. Meanwhile, there were like maybe like 60 girls auditioning for like 3 roles. So like there was just a lot of ego involved already. But like this particular human and we like were in a relationship for some time, and we can call him like Jimmy, Mabes. We'll call him Jimmy. And I don't know a singular Jimmy, so that's why we're going with that. Yeah, this is our little made up name. But we dated for a while, and it was just like one of the most awful experiences of my life. It was formative for sure. But like, whenever I like sometimes it'll come back to me. I mean, as like trauma and memories do, like, I feel like a lot of it I've blocked out. And now like that I'm in a place of like, I've done a lot of healing and I've like had a lot of like time to sit with myself. I feel like I'm in a really great headspace now, which I'm grateful for because it took a long time to get to a place of like daily stability. Sometimes it'll like come back to me, like I'll smell something or I'll like hear a noise or like something will come back to me and it's like a memory from being in this relationship and I'm like, ooh, and then I'll like listen to myself in my head as like someone, I mean, I'm 23, so I'm not that old, but even like looking backward at that period of time, I'm like, oh, that was actually really, really bad. Like that wasn't just like a little bit bad. That was like beyond the point of like, okay. And something that like would perhaps shape like a young, between the ages of like 14 to 18, like those are some of the most formative years. Like that would shape someone about like, my like brain development and the way that I handle situations. And so I look back.
Walk us through that toxicity. Like how did it start off like all rainbows and butterflies, or was it a roller coaster from the beginning, or what was he doing?
I mean, gosh, like and all this to say, like this definitely inspired my songwriting that led into like some of the songs that I think my audience seemed to find pretty early on. But yeah, I mean, I was going to the practice room like multiple times a day, sobbing, like writing music and crying. Like that was like my outlet. You know what I'm saying? Like that was how I processed things because I was feeling such an intense level of emotion about the way that our relationship was going. And I feel like, I mean, when you're that young, like I can look backwards and be forgiving of some things, but other things I'm like, even as like a 14 to 18-year-old, like there is a level of like what's okay and what's not okay. And I mean, a big thing, like, I like to talk about this because I think it's a great warning and like something to just mention because I didn't think about this when I was younger, but like one of the first red flags I should have noticed because things were great in the beginning. Like me and this person started dating. We'd been friends for a little bit and he had actually been there for me when I'd gone through like a bit of like a traumatic SA situation, like prior to all of that. He'd been there for me. He was my friend.
Like at 14?
Yeah, like I was really young. And like I was like, I can't quite remember. It was like 14, 15, like that range. And he'd been there for me. He was my friend and was like really supportive. Like I trusted this person before getting into a relationship with them. So I had no reason to think that they weren't a great character. But I feel like it should have been a warning when like, I mean, I was being like probably love bombed. Like this person would like show up with like Valentine's Day was like roses, chocolates, balloons, like, I mean, like clearing the hallways, like huge romantic gestures. And that was everything I'd ever wanted. I was like, I loved High School Musical growing up. I was like, give me that kind of love. Like, this is what I want. You know what I'm saying? Like this person, like
theatrical.
It was very theatrical. This person spoke so positively about me, but in like a manipulative way. You know what I'm saying? Like would be like, oh, like she's the light of my life. I couldn't live without her. Like she's everything to me. Like she's this, she's that. And then it just seemed to turn out that was like truly for the optics of it. Like all of those big actions were mostly taking place when other people were witnessing it. And then behind closed doors, our arrangements originally started out behind closed doors and then became more public. But behind closed doors was like really demeaning to me and like would put me down and not respect like physical boundaries, emotional boundaries. My entire life when I was in middle school, I was diagnosed with anxiety and OCD, which I feel like is pretty common, but like, I mean, for every individual person, it's a huge thing to go through, especially like stuff like intrusive thoughts and like trying to break those habit cycles and like trying to regulate yourself. And like, I was trying medication out for the first time. I was going to talk therapy. Like I was trying to work through mental health issues. And so through all of this, like I found that my partner was being like really manipulative of those things and like kind of knew how to set off those issues. Where was I? Like,
in what way? That's really
like,
dark.
He knew that like I had a lot of anxiety about like physical boundaries. And I was really clear about those. Like I was like, don't touch me in this way in public. Don't do this to me when we're being like intimate. Like I don't want to be hooking up in a public space, which I feel like is a very simple ask. Like I don't want to be.
Absolutely. Especially if you've been assaulted and he knew that.
Yes.
For sure.
And especially like, I mean, for anyone, set those boundaries and someone should respect them. Everyone should respect them. But like, especially when like this person going in knew about all of the shit that I'd been through, like you would think that person would be somewhat considerate to the fact that like, I don't want to do a wildly intimate act in like, I don't know, like a very public space. That would make me really anxious and make me start to spiral and make me like start to go through like every possible worst case scenario in my brain of like, am I a bad person? I'm a sinner. I'm like tainted. I'm ruined forever. Like all these kind of things you tell yourself when you're in those like mental spirals that are complete cognitive distortions. Like, and then when I would come to him about those things, he would just like kind of assure them. And I was like, this is not what we're trying to do. And like, understandably, someone that young isn't a therapist, like, but I certainly
he
think
would defend himself, or would he gaslight you? Or...
Oh my God. The gaslighting was crazy. Like, I mean, there was an instance, how like, can I be in detail a little bit?
Yeah,
of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was an instance, and this is so like theater kid coded that this even happened, but like we obviously post show decided all to go to Friendly's. It's like the like post show Denny's, post show ice cream.
Is that
it's
what
like
you call it?
Yeah, it's like a place in Massachusetts. I don't know if they're still open, but it's like kind of like a diner type place where like people after theater productions would go to.
We'd always
like,
go to Sherry's or Denny's.
Yes, okay,
but
same vibes.
Like, yeah, post show. Yeah, go to.
Yeah.
Go to
like,
Friendly's.
It's the Friendly's. It's the vibe.
Yeah.
Love Friendly's. No hate, no shade to Friendly's. But we were there with like a bunch of my friends that were all in theater together. And somehow like we had started talking about like sex or something. Like someone made a joke. And unprompted out of nowhere, this Jimmy that I was dating, he like starts like in detail describing how I like gave him head. And like in detail is like acting it out on like one of the food items he had ordered and like making fun of me and being like, yeah, she's so fucking bad. Like, porn gets me off better than her. Like
what?
Like, and like
in front of you, you were there too?
I was directly next to me is sitting there acting out like it was one of the most vulgar things I'd ever witnessed and does this entire. Yes. And I had specifically also mentioned that I was really insecure about anything sexual and I didn't want any of our friends to know about it. Like, I didn't want to talk about sex. I didn't want him to communicate with our friends about what we did. Like, that was a boundary that I had set. And all of a sudden, he's like physically depicting like this atrocious sight. And like, my friends are like uncomfy and they're like, they're like, some of them are laughing along. Some of them are like, bro. And like, then I think I like was like just kind of shut down and just like went like silent. And then after like one of our friends was driving me and Jimmy back and I was like basically completely silent in the back and he was like, what's wrong, Melina? Because he was sitting in the like passenger seat. He was like, what's wrong, Melina? Like, cat got your tongue? Like, what's wrong? Oh, you're not mad at me, right? There's no way you could be mad at me. Like, you love me. You're in love with me. I'm in love with you. Like, I would never say anything bad about you. Like, why are you overreacting, Melina? And then he had my friend parked the car, got around, sat in the back with me, and was like trying to like be all over me and being like, my baby, like, blah, blah. I was like, and I mean, like that kind of behavior, like immediately translated into like every other spat that we'd have or like time that he'd cross a boundary. Like he'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like that never happened. Or like, that wasn't me. Or like, you're just the biggest thing was you're overreacting. You're crazy. You're not normal. You're a monster. Like, it's your mental illness, like all these like kind of list of things that like were kind of his like, I don't know, like shooting point. Like he was like, oh, let me get her where it hurts. And for someone
that's
that
awful
young, like,
and absolutely such a formative expence. Like you said, I'm sure like you carried that with you into your next relationship. Like I'm sure it made you so insecure and like
100%.
You feel like you can't trust your own reality. Like, am I overreacting? Or like, I'm so sorry. That's horrible.
I mean, even you saying that, I'm like, that's so validating. Like, not trusting reality. You know what I'm saying? And like, what was crazy was like my circle like affirmed his actions most of the time. I had a few friends that were really wonderful and like really supportive through all of that. But like oftentimes when like there were big situations that happened between me and Jimmy, like I have a distinct memory of like a bunch of my friends all sitting at like a lunch table. I mean, it was out of like Mean Girls. I was like, I'm sorry, what is happening? I walk into the cafeteria. I mean, a lot of the people that were at this table later apologized to me for this, but like they were all sitting with him in a row and like some of them had their arms crossed and they were like laughing at me. Like I'm like walking into the cafeteria. They're sitting there in a row at the lunch table, like laughing at me. This situation, he was clearly in the wrong. Like clearly had like overstepped my boundaries and like all of them took his side. And I was like, what? Well, all these specific people. I had like a few friends that were great that were like, girl, no. And like grabbed my hand and we were like walking down the hallway in our like little high heels. And they were like, like pick me up off the ground. Like I had some great friends, granted, that honestly like helped inspire me and empower me to be able to release music about this person and about my previous experiences. I have some great best friends that did that. But yeah, no, like when you say like, yeah, that probably like now affects your sense of reality. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like now I expect certain types of reactions. Like I kind of expect coercive behaviors when I say no, which like is, or like gaslighting behaviors, or like when I'm uncomfortable with something, I'm like playing defense already, or like trying to put up a wall. And it's like, shoot, like that's coming from somewhere.
At such a formative age, like it seems like you were really with like a master manipulator.
Yes.
Who had a knack for getting everybody on his side and to believe him, which is really gross.
Which is so gross. And like,
Yeah.
I held a lot of resentment in my heart. I mean, I hold some resentment, but like I held a lot more resentment in my heart closer to that age for the people that kind of like believed him and went so quickly with him. And now kind of looking back, I'm like, yeah, that was messed up. But also like I stayed in a relationship with this person for a really long time. If he can manipulate me, he can manipulate them. Like he can shift the perspective of like the way that we're like the way that the entire situation is looked upon, because he was a like super lovable personality, like super charming. Like, I mean, the person that I was in love with that wasn't like all of the other list of horrible things, like the person that I think the public saw and like I tried to see in him is one of the most charming people I've met in my life. So like,
He sounds like a textbook narcissist. That's
yes,
I was gonna say
like,
that.
oh,
Yeah.
like, ooh, like learning about all that stuff. Now I'm like, oh no, that was what that was. But
I
don't
think
know,
that's
it's-
like some the stereotype of the straight popular man in theater. Like, I don't know why sometimes it does seem to attract some narcissistic behavior, because it's also the people who love the attention and the spotlight and to be able to like, kind of, and they're already such good actors too.
yes.
I mean, like, I know a few like growing up too of like that person who was so popular in theater and had all of the attention and all of like these women kind of fawning over him, and just kind of like tricks you.
It totally tricks you. It tricks your brain. Like it makes you pursue a certain type of personality. Like I felt like that was what was normal. So like I continued to kind of, I think, pursue personalities that weren't good for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know, it creates a cycle, it creates a loop, but I'm grateful that the friends that I had, specifically like one of my best friends, Dilsey, she like had my back like no one's business. Like she never once doubted my story. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't even like a question about it.
That's
and
so good.
we're,
All
like,
it takes
still
is
best
one.
friends.
You just
All it takes
need
is one.
Yeah.
Like
you just need one.
and like I remember how much like her words meant to me, and how like her like literally physically picking me up off the bathroom floor and being like, I love you, like I hear you, like I believe you, like we're gonna like go to class and we're gonna strut the streets and we're gonna like be fucking badasses because that's what you are. Like, and hearing me out, being there every single time I was like crying on the ground and like a complete mess. Like she picked me up, and a few other people, but specifically her. And that's like really, I think, what allowed me to be able to release a song like I've Had Enough, which ended up growing this whole audience. And like, I never expected it to.
Do you have multiple about him, or is that like the first or main one?
That was, I'd had some like songs that were more like I'd written that were kind of like love songy, but not really, like that I'd released prior to that were about this person. But I've Had Enough, I started writing while I was in the toxic relationship. And like, I distinctly remember being in the practice room of my high school and like playing the piano chords and like then going to my like kitchen and trying to write some of the guitar parts. But like, there's like a huge section of the song that's about like women's empowerment and like standing together, and like that, even that main hook. I mean, now with the new song, it's different, but like, no man can demand my body, my spirit, my love. Like, we've had enough. Like those kind of statements, I think, were so heavily inspired by like the words that my best friend gave me and like how she was there for me. And then also like my family being so supportive, my producer being so supportive, like all these people being so nurturing and caring and like thoughtful and being like, release this when you're comfortable with it. Like if that's something you even want. I'm grateful that I had that support, because as much as the song is about this horrible experience I went through, it's also about how a community of survivors can band together and create like abandon that sense of isolation that these like predators or whomever want us to feel. Yeah. I'm very grateful for my friends and my family, because they really got me through that one. And also everyone who listened and supported.
I love, like, I did notice that you just re-released another version with 3 other female artists too. What was that like, kind of like getting other women involved in your song?
I mean, it was the most incredible experience ever. I was like actually so honored. It's easy to be like, oh, I'm honored to like whatever. No, like I was like floored that these 3 artists, Megan Free, Jenna Keja, and Catherine Lynn Rose, were all so down to be a part of this re-release. I'd wanted to do it since I released the song, but I think I needed time to like really think on like, how do I want to re-record the vocals? Like, who do I want to bring into this? Like, what lyrics am I changing? What am I rewriting? Because I knew that the next version of the song would be gender neutral and that it would be like more activism and advocacy driven. And that was something I kind of had known off the bat, but I wanted to like really take the time to like understand like the effects of how that song came out and how the world had immediately perceived it and how I had millions and millions of eyes on me telling my story versus me just telling that as like a secret to my friend. It definitely like, I'm glad that I took almost, I think 4 years to do the re-release because now I've been able to grow these beautiful friendships with these collaborators and like be able to have an opportunity to share these artists that are already so empowerment driven and have that kind of theatrical flair. I'm just like so grateful that I get to put their voices and get them. They wrote their own verses on it. So like they get to tell their story as well. It was just like a really special moment. And we centered a lot of the release around this organization, Awake Tennessee, that supports and advocates for survivors, women, children, gun reform in Tennessee, which obviously is like a very red state.
Yeah.
And so it means a lot to me as like, I live here, but also like to be able to advocate for like people that really, 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 really need advocating for right now. With this
That's
release.
so awesome. Like kudos to you.
You are
and
such a badass.
yeah. And
Oh my
that's,
God.
you know, like that's what we try to do too. Like take, you know, the stories and the bad things that happen to us and turn it into something good that can help other people. And that's what you're doing. And like by involving, you know, the other artists on your song too, you're just amplifying your reach and helping so many people. So yeah, bravo. Proud of you.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's very like, it's really surreal and like really emotional in the best way. There's like a section right at the end of the new version. I changed some of the lyrics and it says like, and to younger me, I know that you're scared, but please don't give up your fight. Breathe. I promise one day you'll be seen. And like that, like writing that, I was writing it directly to my younger self who was like in that scary position in high school where I was like, I didn't know how to handle it. And I was just like, I felt so alone. I wrote it to her, but I also wrote it to like so many other young women, men, humans. Like I wrote it for anyone who's in my position, older or younger than me. But like, I think I needed a song like that when I was that age and I was going through that. And the words of my friends and my family and my producer and my community were what pulled me out of that toxic situation, like literally, physically, and emotionally. I hope that my song can do that in some ways for other people. And I know at the first release, I received so many messages and DMs and things that would like literally just make me sob, like the most empowering stories of how the song was able to help people through some of those experiences. And I wanted something that felt like a direct message to them as well. And to remind them that like they are not alone. So yeah, anyway, I can talk about it all day, but
Making me tear up over here. I've listened to that song a lot. We'll probably overlay it here as well. If not, go listen to I've Had Enough. It really reminds me, Rachel, even of just your experience too, of when you finally left and how important friends and family and everyone to kind of like pick you up out of that. And like the lyrics really just resonate with so many different of those situations of like leaving an abuser and having enough. And it's not just about leaving, but also the community that's there to help you get out.
For sure. And doing the thing that like past you wasn't, you know, strong enough to do, and almost like reclaiming that time and reclaiming that self and like healing that self, and then like just amplifying it outward to help other people who have been through similar situations. Like, yeah, I totally resonate with that. And that's amazing.
thank you. Like performing it live, like really, like when I listen to it back and like when I talk about it, it's so emotional. And then like performing it is when it really, really hits, because then I'm singing the lyrics directly to someone, singing the lyrics back to me. And like, we're both tearing up and I'm like, this is so tangible and so real. And like, I constantly feel this guilt for being in the music industry because I'm not doing something that's like directly like a social worker or like a teacher to like help shape the minds of the young people. Like I'm not doing something that I feel like is contributing enough. And then I remind myself, like, in those moments, or the moments that I'm like, no, like, this is just how powerful music is. Like, it's sometimes the comfort when there's literally no one else, like, or the thing that pushes you on to the next task, or like keeps you sane. Like, I think music
keeps
is really
you
powerful. Human, like,
exactly, like, really, like, it connects us and helps us make those decisions and comfort us when, like you said, when no one is there sometimes. Like, it's extremely powerful. So when you first launched that song, is that when you really started getting a lot of like traction on like social media and TikTok? And like, how did that kind of launch your career from ending that relationship in high school to where you are today, where you're going on tour, you've got tons of followers, it looks like you've got millions of streams, like you're kicking ass, especially for how young you are. So if you want to share a little bit about kind of like how that journey after the fact.
The journey has been so fascinating to me, because I feel like the achievements that I've made, it's so hard to like talk proud about yourself. You know what I'm saying? I feel like women are not socialized to do that. So like I try to like be intentional to be like, no, you know what? I did that shit.
Hell yeah.
But
brag about
saying?
yourself.
Like,
we love
exactly.
it.
Like, it's so hard to do it, but I'm like, come on, girl.
You deserve it.
Thank you. I feel like for a lot of the like milestones I reached, I didn't see like the same industry attention that I think like a lot of other artists that blew up around the same time were finding. And I've questioned a million different reasons why that could have been. I mean, a large reason could have easily been that like I've never been not outspoken. Like throughout my entire career, I feel like social justice has been a like pinpoint and like a center point of what I'm doing. I mean, a lot of my music does not have to do with that, but so much of my music has been healing from these toxic situations, whether that was in high school or post high school or pre high school, like all of that healing and like anger and frustration. And then like obviously like seeing this new presidency come into play, like all of these emotions that I'm like bottling up and like trying to work through. I feel like so much of that centered from that point of trauma that I'd experienced and that toxicity that I was trying to move forward from. And so a part of me is curious if like maybe that's a reason why like I didn't have that kind of like crazy, like, oh my God, now you're performing at the Grammys moment. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, another reason could be that I've chosen to stay independent. I've been an independent artist since day one. I've been self-managed since day one, which has been crazy. I don't have a booking agent. I don't have like any agencies working for me. It's like 100% me with like literally my best friend and roommate who's been like helping me send press emails and like helping me get my EPK together. And like, we just have been like as besties, like trying to tackle the industry.
That's so impressive. Producer? Good for you.
Yes. I have a producer. So that's like exciting. Like, but there's no one that's like there's
you don't have a
like
label. You don't
label
have
or even like,
I don't even know the music terms very well in the industry.
Yeah.
But you're out here doing it on your own.
Exactly. Which like,
we are too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And like, I think like if the entire universe knew how much work goes into being an independent creative, like they would be shocked because it's a lot more than anything I was ever anticipating. But I love the work that I do. And I think that like, I've been really intentional since that moment of where it like the music blew up and like it was starting to reach people. Like retaining that creative control is so important to me because it's my stories. You know what I'm saying? Like it's my truth. And like, I would never want a company to stop me from like speaking out about a cause I believe in or, a real life experience that I went through, or even like things like I'm really like happy that I was able to release a song about my first queer experience last year. Like, but also like that could have been something that like could have been restrained. Right. You know what I'm saying? Especially like the theatrical sound that I have, the amount of people that I've met with. Cause like granted, like while I've been independent this whole time, I've been meeting with people and like I'm not closed off to opportunities, but so many of them require me changing my sound and like shape like shifting who I am into a box that I'm not even remotely close to. You know what I'm saying? Like going into something and then being like, damn, you should really discover your like indie bedroom rock sound or like, you're like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, like
more
love that
mainstream.
Genre. Yes.
Your genre, like your style like of music, girl, which is why I love it so much. It does have like music theater influences and it's like, you can also tell you're a fantastic singer, like, cause it has that kind of style and like, I can see why you'd be like, I don't want to necessarily change it to become more popular and more famous, but then like sacrifice who I am.
Yes.
point.
And like,
Yeah.
gosh, like, I mean, you guys brought up gotcha earlier. Like, I've been really thinking about this. I'm like, I don't know if I had been a part of a deal or like was having some sort of guidance that wasn't myself in that moment in time, if I would have even been allowed to produce, to write, produce, put out, like to do a project like Gotcha. And like the project was completely fan funded. Like we were able to cover the entire cost of filming. And like I had a whole team of like recent college grads and people I'm friends with and like people in the local Nashville community. Like for myself and for many of the people that were on the project, it was like their first short film post grad, like that are trying to get their start in the film industry, like incredible creatives and like people I'm friends with. And it was fully funded by fans who wanted it. And like, I don't even think I would have been pushed to like do that. And like, and with those fans, we've been able to do like letter writing and Zoom calls. And like, we had some fans come to set when we were filming and like all this other like special, cool, like genuine, like human to human stuff that we've been able to do. Like having to be in a situation where you have to be creative and like really think outside of the box has allowed me to do so many things that I'm like really proud of and really excited by. And like in no world would I not want to have Gotcha out. Like that is the most me thing I've ever done. Like it's campy and theatrical and comedic and over the top and anxious and like just like outlandish. And like that is so my thing. Thank you.
I love it. And I need to know, so you like wrote the whole thing and like it was all, okay, amazing.
It was me and then two friends of mine, Skylar Lee and Hannah Dionis.
It's so good. And it's so like, I don't even know how to like properly describe it, but I love it so much. And it's so entertaining and it like grips you the whole time. Did you really write it because a boyfriend cheated on you and you were like inspired to make this little short film?
So the truth is that with this particular project, I had pulled like the anxiety of being in a relationship and being convinced that my partner's cheating on me and like going down that spiral. That was the starting point. And then I was like, how do I build a story? Like, can I create a character that is me if I were in this position? You know what I'm saying? And much of it's real. Like, I currently, like, am in a relationship. Like, I do have a partner. I don't talk about that a lot, but, like, I do. I have a partner. And, like, even the smallest thing, once you've been in a one bad relationship, it's, like, even the smallest thing will set me off. And I'm, like, you'll see, like, I'll see my partner, like, talking to a girl and, like, immediately my brain is like, and he's cheating on me. And when he goes off to work, he's like having a secret double life and he's like doing this and he's doing that. And like, then I'm like, no, girl, you're actually in a healthy relationship. Hold on, girl.
Yeah.
But like, that is just like the most me thing ever. Like, I feel like I always go to this like crazy length in my brain and then have to like pull myself together. And so
relatable.
Yeah, you get it. I listened to like a lot of Call Her Daddy and like, especially in like those early days of like Alex Cooper talking about like going through her man's phone and like all these different, I'm like that, like I listened to that like the Bible. I was like, and notes.
Yes. No one is a better social media detective than Rachel.
Yes!
And I resonated with the lyrics. I'm sure she did with your lyrics too, but like the detective and everything, because Rachel has similar trauma of being cheated on and being able to know exactly like, well, you had this many followers on this day, but now you have this many followers on this day. And so liked your photo. And like, it's those trauma responses to be nervous that unfortunately are usually from, you have those trauma responses because you were wronged in the first place. So it's really hard to break out.
And then it completely changes
It's
your
like
brain
speaking for
chemistry.
you, Rachel.
Oh, no, I mean, you nailed it. But like, and then to, bring it forward, like it completely changes your brain chemistry. And then when you are in a healthy relationship, your brain still goes there because you're like, wait, you're still trying to like connect the dots and protect yourself ultimately. So yeah, I totally understand the spirals even if they're not warranted. So I love the song.
That's exactly it.
Gotcha. And yeah, it's
Thank you.
So, props to you.
To clarify, thank you. To clarify, I am not engaged. That does happen at the end of the song. I am not engaged. This is an empty hand. Not that I'm against it, but like this is a for now. I was like, it would be that was like part of like my like comedic sense of my brain. Like I was like, I wanted something like really like a plot twist at the end that was really silly. And I was like, wait, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Like having to be the grandma and all of that.
And oftentimes
but definitely
that is
based
how
out
it
of
goes.
like some truths.
Yeah, I oftentimes that is how it goes. Like you go down this rabbit hole of like something bad's happening, and then it's like it turns out, oh no, wait, he was doing this really cute thing and I didn't need to freak out. I wanted to know the relationship with Jimmy in high school. What was the final straw that like got you out of it?
Gosh, like this will actually tie into the cheating drama from Gotcha. This actually, like, recalling and going backward and thinking about the ending of things, like I should have ended it and stuck to my gut on that. Basically, it was around like, I think like Thanksgiving time. There was like a breakup twice, but the first time I dumped him. Well, actually, I dumped him both times. We'll get into that. The first time I dumped him because I didn't think he was a feminist and I thought that he was like low-key misogynistic and hated women. And every single time we'd be like out in public, he would say like something remotely offensive about a woman that wasn't me. And that was so hard because he's like, oh, like I'm not being offensive. I'm just being honest. Like I'm just joking around. Ew. Like, but would like make fun of girls for like being anorexic, like would talk about other women's bodies, like in very gross ways. Like when we were watching a movie or like when he was talking to one of his friends or just like making inappropriate jokes. And like, it just like got to a point where I was like, I hate you actually. And I can't stay in a relationship with you any longer and say that I'm a feminist. Like I can't even like, that was a big realization for me was like, even if he's not saying as much horrible stuff directly to me, the fact that it was happening to other women was just like completely unacceptable to me. And I was like, this is a line for me, actually. Like, I believe in feminism and uplifting other women. And like, you go directly against that. And that's like a line for me. So that was the reason why I first dumped him. Should have stuck to me.
Valid reason.
Yeah. I should have stuck to it.
That also shows what he really does think of you too. Even if he's not saying it. Yeah.
Like, if he's not saying it, he's thinking it. Or saying it to his boys. Or whatever else. Then he manipulated me into backsliding the next month. So that did happen, unfortunately. Girl was having a weak moment. But then, of course, like, he's saying, I've changed. Like, and I remember being like, this is the final straw. This is the final straw. That final straw, like, lasted way too long. I gave him way too much forgiveness. Like, I tried to be, like, kind and empathetic, and he had his own stuff going on in his life that was dark. And so I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna be a giver. I'm gonna be thoughtful. You can change. No, I should have just shut the door and let it there. That's how it goes. And then like a few months later, he tried to cheat on me. And when I say tried, like that is just the most embarrassing thing ever because he couldn't even successfully cheat on me. He tried to cheat on me at a party and it was caught on multiple videos. Like people were videoing it somehow. And so I saw, well, there was a whole drama there, but I saw some of the video and like could audibly hear him being like, just like kiss me, just fuck me. Like they were in a production together where they were like romantically linked in the production, like acting. And it was like, let's just practice. Like, this is just like rehearsal, like blah, 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 like fully like trying to cheat on me. And this girl was like, no, I don't want to. No. And like, he was repetitively like saying these things. And so I was like, so you were literally like ready to cheat on me. No, but
was this like at a party or something?
Yeah. Like a party that
were videoing it.
Yeah. And I, that entire time, like, was, like, peacefully snuggling with my mother watching a rom-com on, like, a Friday night. So, like, kindly, who was in the wrong? But that situation was pretty messed up. And before I found out about that cheating, like, within that weekend, because I found out kind of when schools had resumed on, like, a Monday or Tuesday, he had dumped me over text that, like, day after that this whole thing happened. And then immediately what I found out was then like went to my friend who this happened with and was like, now we can finally be together. I've wanted you all these years. Like this elaborate thing. I was like, I'm sorry. Like what? And so, yeah, it was a crazy situation.
He said
and then,
that to the girl. Well, he dumped you over text and then sent the text to another girl saying like, now we can be together.
Yeah. Like he seemed to think that this girl was rejecting him because he was in a relationship or like committed to me. Not because she didn't want him because he's creepy. Like, so yeah. Then she was obviously like, no, I don't want you. And then I found out about like the cheating stuff then like week after. And then I was like, I came after him. In like one of the most collected ways ever. We like walked into a practice room and I basically was like, the way that you disrespected my friend you should never treat another woman like that ever in your lifetime. And the way, like, the trauma that you've put me through, like, all I ask is that you never put someone else through that again, because it's wrong and messed up. And like, I am so grateful that like I never am going to speak to you again or see you again. Like, I basically just like hounded him for like a minute and then like left him in the practice room and slammed the door. So
yeah.
Oh my God.
that was how that ended. I feel like that was a dump to him, because his
Good
like,
for you.
thank you. I mean, he had dumped me on
God.
text already, but like, I feel like I finished it.
Yeah. That didn't count. You got the final word.
I was like, no, I'm going to say something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
good for you.
yeah, that's so wild. I haven't thought about how that ended in so long, but like, all that to say, if there's anyone listening and like your first reason for dumping someone is because they're not a feminist, they're not going to change overnight. They're not going to magically become a feminist overnight. Like,
I get it now.
Stick to it.
I've learned
respect
how to respect women.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, all of a sudden I like don't say bad things about women. I'm like, but are you thinking it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's like ingrained. That doesn't change easily.
And the older you get, like Rachel and I are 30 now, and it's like the older you get, the more you're like, if you meet a 30-year-old man and he still doesn't get it, like it is not,
never will.
it is not your job or your responsibility to try to train them and fix them and get them to get it.
It's not our responsibility as women to like teach non-women how to respect us. Like, what if we just respected everyone equally with kindness in the way that we'd want to be treated? I don't know. That was the way I was raised, so I'm confused. Yeah, imagine like basic human kindness. It's crazy for some men, I guess. People.
Absolutely wild.
Sorry, long story short, that was like crazy because I haven't thought about it in so long, so we were unpacking it in live time.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you brought us back, Rach, because I skipped ahead on the final.
No,
breakup,
it's okay.
That's important too. Yeah,
You know, we went on a journey and we found our way back in conclusion.
I was going to say, how did you meet your current partner?
So
and how is that going?
It's going really good. It's actually exciting to talk about it because I feel like I'm not like hiding it, but also like I've been soft launching for like coming on like 2 years now. Like,
I love
it's
the
been
soft
a while. Like we've been soft launching for a while. But we met because we were actually neighbors.
Cool.
Yeah. And I'm such a hopeless romantic, and like it all just like kind of unraveled in like the most cute, precious way ever. And he's unlike anyone I've ever dated before. Like literally like the exact opposite, like most kind, thoughtful, honestly, like more introverted, like more like creatively inclined in like a thoughtful way. Yes, we balance each other out really well. Like, I've never seen this man be anxious in his life. I'm like, how? Like, just like, it's a good like balance we have going on. And so I'm happy with where things are at right now. But I was like eating up the like rom-com neighbor trope. I'm like, I need to write a song about this.
Like, I'm the girl next door.
Yes! I was like, wait, I'm her. Like,
Wait,
That's awesome.
which song is about that? Really, is there one about?
There's
in the works.
I wrote there's a lot I've written that just aren't out. I don't release a lot of love songs because I don't really write a lot of love songs because I have this like anxiety. Like if I do write a love song and then something ends, listening to it back is the most like painful thing in the world. So I'm like, I don't want to like
write a song about that.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea.
It's a unique kind of like concern and experience.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to write a love song because what if
it goes bad?
Yeah.
But I honestly have a feeling that things are gonna keep going really good with this relationship. And I did write a Christmas song that hasn't come out yet, but I'm thinking about releasing it. It's more like acoustic and cutie, but like it's kind of about like us first falling in love and like and basically being like, I hope that you like kiss me by the end of the movie. And like, it's very like snow day, cute, like cozy board game vibes. So cute. I don't know. We'll see if I release it. That would be very vulnerable of me. So we'll find out.
I do kind of want to go back a little bit to when you talked about how much like social causes are important to you and your music.
Yeah.
And you even talking about like, maybe it's because I don't have a Grammy yet because I have been super vocal about what I care about. And it reminded me of our girl, Taylor Swift, who also got engaged today. Congrats. We love her.
Congratulations, Miss Taylor.
Congrats, T Swift. But it reminded me in her like documentary that she was like so nervous to say who she was voting for president.
Yeah.
When was that? I don't even remember. Was that when Trump?
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't know.
The devil.
But that was a fascinating scene.
Yeah. And the fact that like she had gone that many years being like kind of the perfect Southern like princess of I'm going to not rock the boat. I'm not going to talk about anything controversial whatsoever. That just kind of reminded me of that. And I wanted to ask more about your song and the cause. Is it a foundation that you support or the name of that? And if you could just tell a little bit more about the foundation and maybe how people can find it and support it along with you.
Totally. It's an organization called Awake Tennessee. My incredible best friend currently works as like a part of the central team for this nonprofit. And it has been so fascinating to see firsthand someone who is like every single day advocating for the rights of ourselves, but also children, gun reform survivors in Tennessee. There's a lot of it, like an educational branch. So they do a lot of work, like going into schools and educating young people on how they can speak up for themselves. And that's something that I'm very passionate about because I feel like giving them those resources and like giving them the tools to learn about like what they can actually like physically do to protect themselves and to stand up for themselves. I think that's really important. But something really special that they just did, hopefully I like say this correctly, but they just passed a bill in Tennessee that it's the first Southern state, I think first and only Southern state to have birth control protected. And it also had like, I think IVF protected in that. It's just like, it's like a fertility care and reproductive justice bill.
Oh, amazing.
And they successfully passed it, which in Tennessee, like you would not believe how hard it is to get any like needle inched even remotely to the left.
Right.
And so it's incredible, like the work that they do. And I mean, like, they don't sleep, like literally like going into the Capitol, like hosting protests and doing like all like doing the phone banking and the door knocking and like doing stuff with like locally elected representatives. I had the incredible opportunity to get to do phone banking with her and the Awake team, and a bunch of other local organizations. Like ones that come to mind are like Planned Parenthood in like the Tennessee chapter, Thistle Farms, even like I think they did some stuff with Mental Health Coalition, but I might be wrong. And I got to do phone banking. I got to go like literally door to door knocking, advocating for a candidate that like is leaning in the direction of just supporting all people's rights, which is wildly rare, I guess, these days. And we like got to be kind of like on the ground doing that, letter writing, like all of kind of that like grassroots movement stuff they're very heavily involved in, but also like directly going to the Capitol and being like, this is our bill. These are the like people in the different branches that we're working with and like helping like work on those votes and things like that. So maybe I like hopefully said it correctly, but there's just like so much that they do directly that like I've witnessed with my own eyes, like how much work they do and how much is actually helping our community here. And so it means a lot for me to like get to support this organization because I really see the change that's being made in the work that they're doing.
I love that. We will make sure to put their information in this description of this podcast episode as well, because that Traumedy is all about all of those things. And I love when, I don't know, you do your work, but you're also doing it for a cause too. And that has become like something I've like really thought about because I want to be able to utilize my music and my platform to then like create and support those like change makers that are on the ground doing it, because music is so powerful. I've learned that, like I see that, but also like I want to be able to uplift other people that are like doing those other roles that I can't necessarily do or don't have the training to do. And it was wonderful. We hosted a benefit for them. And I had my friends, Maddie Hicks and Bree, who are also incredible artists that write a lot about their experiences as women. They performed. We had Thistle Farms there. We had Planned Parenthood there. And we raised like in totality across this event and then also merch sales online over $1,000 for the organization. So that was awesome. Incredible. And
Amazing.
I'm like, it just feels good to know that like we're doing something.
Yeah. You're such a badass.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I am fangirling over here. That is really, really cool.
It was awesome. Like,
yeah.
I'm so grateful that people were so down to be a part of it and help me and support it.
What advice would you give to somebody who was in a toxic relationship similar to yours? Maybe they're being manipulated, or it's a very disrespectful relationship, or there's cheating. Like, what advice would you give?
I'm like trying to tap back into what my best friend would tell me. Like, I think the first thing that I would say is like, I see you and I understand how hard it is to leave. Like, it's so easy. And I think it's important to have people telling you to leave, but like, it's so easy for me to sit here, like in my like current life where I'm comfortable and be like, just leave their ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy for me to kind of like say that now, but I know that like I needed to hear that 5 billion times in order to be able to like even remotely try to exit a relationship like that. And there are so many other people that have been in so much more like dark, more awful situations than what I've been through. Not to discredit mine at all, but like, I think the first step is like, I get it. And like, I hear you and I believe you. And like, obviously, like there is a strong importance to exiting those relationships, and the quicker that you can do it, the better. But like, there's also an understanding in my heart for like how complicated that can be, especially like if the scenario involves, not for myself, but if the scenario involves kids, pets, housing, cars, like finances, like there are so many moving parts to that. And none of those things should like ultimately stop you from leaving a toxic situation. But like, I think finding a support system or people that you can trust to help you through that process and to be listening ears and to be a sounding board, that's really helpful. Because when I'd be going through an experience and I'm like, am I crazy? Like, is this wrong? Like, is this bad? Because your brain is being trained to believe otherwise. Like, I think creating a community and a sounding board to help you through that process and to hold your hand through that process, if you can in any way, or finding music that you're really inspired by, or influencers or creators that you feel like are speaking to you. Like, I think doing it alone is so hard and obviously doable. And I just feel like finding a little bit of a community helps in those scenarios. And then I understand that like it's a more nuanced situation and like leaving can take time, but I certainly encourage and stand behind leaving if you can, because I think about how much more beauty and excitement and love I've been able to let into my life since moving forward from that relationship, and other negative situations that I've been through revolving my boundaries being not respected since that and before that. I think that like, at least for me personally, having those incredible supportive humans in my life has made it easier to move forward.
That was such a beautiful and compassionate answer. Yeah.
Thank you.
Emotional.
I
It really
like-
was.
Thank you.
We have had people on this podcast who are like specialists in this area, who are therapists, who've had years, or like far beyond your age. And like, that was just as well, or like articulate and
Thank you.
well put. And like, it's really, you are so well spoken. And I'm so
Thank
impressed
you.
by you.
Yeah.
I always like, I get nervous talking about it because I'm like, every person's situation is so different. But what I do know, like, that's like true to my heart is like, you're on your own timetable, and like, also talking about your story and all of those things. Like, it's such a personal experience, and like finding people that you trust to share it with made it easier for me, and hopefully would make it easier for someone else.
I love that. For somebody listening who is some sort of creative or artist and they are nervous to go for it, like, I think you are such a shining example of that it is possible, and you don't need, you know, an agent or a label or, you know, something like that to find success, and staying true to yourself. What advice would you give to somebody who, you know, wants to maybe achieve that kind of a dream, but they're hesitant?
One of the biggest reasons why I see people in my community being hesitant to go after what they want as a musician, as like a creative on like the visual side of things, or like as a producer or as an instrumentalist or whatever it is. I think that one of the biggest things holding people back is a fear of what other people will think of them. And I get it. Like, I understand that. Like, I have also been in those shoes where I'm like so intimidated and scared of how other people might perceive me. But the biggest step forward that I took in my career was like literally in my brain being like, you know what, no matter how embarrassed I am right now, like no matter how cringy I think this is, or like how like humiliated I might feel if someone were to like come up to me in public and be like, this you? Like, I've just like really like not allowed myself to not press post. Like, I'm just like, you know what? Like, or to not write something because I'm scared to write about it, or because I think it's like too silly or someone might judge it. Like, I think that my greatest creative moments are the ones where I'm not even considering what other people are going to think about it. And I'm just like, you know what? I like this. Like, I think this is cool. Like, I enjoy this. I think this is funny. I think this is powerful. I think this is moving. Like, I think my biggest advice is just like, it's once you just like start doing it, like if you're creating a regimen, like let's say you want to like get up every single day and drink water and do this, which are things I need to do. Like it's building it into your life as a regimen. I post, and I need to do that tonight. I try to post every single day. Like I try to consistently, like when I have a creative thought in my head, I immediately write it down in my notes document, or I immediately voice memo it so it doesn't slip my brain. And it's not like I'll remember it tomorrow. Like I, even in small ways, just like try to keep myself consistent with that. And at the end of the day, like if someone's judging, they're like truly just trying to knock you down from like pursuing greatness. Like, I'm sorry. Like if they're being judgmental for you doing something that you are clearly passionate about and care about, like they're not the one for you. Like they're not the friend, the partner, like the supporter. Like I can block haters on Instagram, but like the people that are like there in the comments being supportive, like I see that, you know what I'm saying? And like try to really take that into account. And like obviously being a creative or pursuing your own business or doing anything that's takes that kind of like leap of faith, you face the potential threat of having backlash on that or someone not loving it. But at the end of the day, like that's their opinion. And like, I don't want some rando that I've never met before, or like some friend that clearly shouldn't be my friend, to stop me from pursuing what like my greatest dreams are. Like I'll just look back and regret and be like, wow, why did I take that random person's advice into account? Like I could have done something really cool that I care about. So yeah, I think like just shifting the mindset into doing things, even though you're like worried maybe what other people will think of you, doing it for yourself.
Such a good answer.
Another amazing answer.
Another 10 out of 10. That was, it really resonated with us and my anxiety about starting the podcast and being so nervous to even put ourselves out there and be so vulnerable, because it's all related. But like haters build engagement, and it's not for them anyway.
It's not for them.
It's not for them. If you want to keep commenting to try to, and you're going to build the algorithm when you do anyway, then let them. But like, that's
exactly
what you said about being like what you are proud of, what drives you, your loved ones, your friends and family. And then the fans will find you as they did. Yeah.
And also like emphasizing that, like, cause I talk a lot, right, about that support system. Like I remember what it was like to not feel like I had one, whether or not I did. Like I remember how alone I had felt. And what carried me through those moments was also like every small act of kindness a stranger did me, or something beautiful, like finding those small things that I enjoyed to hyperfixate on to keep me going. Like, even if that's a starting point for someone listening where they don't feel like they have anyone that they can turn to in those dark moments. I remember like every single day just journaling, like, this person held the door open for me today. So the person that I bought ice cream from wished me a nice day and gave me an extra scoop. Like the hummingbird like flew near me today and it was so beautiful, and like the sun reflected off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a great starting point even for building that. And I want to like emphasize that because I also know like it's so easy again for me to sit here and be like, go to your bestie, but like I remember not feeling like I had one. So touching on that.
That was beautiful. That was such a heartwarming kind of moment to end on.
Love you guys. Thank you for having me. Like this has been so wonderful. It's been so great to be able to tell these stories. So many things I've never talked about before. So like I really appreciate you taking the time to like ask me such thoughtful questions and be so kind.
It was such a pleasure getting to know you. Yeah.
I know it's hard sometimes even to kind of go back to these traumatic experiences. So we appreciate you doing that and retelling your story, but also I'm sure it's going to help a lot of our listeners as well. And I hope that all of the Traumedians go and follow melina.kb on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube.
Yes. Plug your socials
Spotify
again one more time for us.
So awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. My name is Melina KB. I am on all social media platforms. If you want to follow me, I just released a song called We've Had Enough, with a few incredible collaborators and creatives. I'm about to go on tour with Brooke Alex, opening for her. I would love to like sing the lyrics live with these incredible humans that you guys are. And I'm so honored to get to share this incredible podcast episode with you guys.
Thank you so much, Melina.
Thank you.